Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to the channel where today you join me in Salzburg, Austria, where I'm with Alpina for their drive day here at the Salzburgring. You might be able to hear some cars blasting around, but I'm going to be experiencing this. Now you might be thinking, what's so special about that car behind me? It's a BMW 5 Series Touring. They're estate models. Well, that's where you would be wrong. This is the BMW Alpina B5 Biturbo Touring, and this is the fastest estate car in the world. The top speed is 322 kilometers per hour. Now, I might not be quite driving it that quickly today here in Austria, but I'm going to show you what Alpina have done to the car to make that possible and take it out for a drive to get an experience for what it's about. So let's get started then and check out the Alpina B5 Biturbo Touring. The name Alpina is well connected to the BMW lineup. It's a company that's been around for 53 years now, focusing on exclusivity in the top end of the range, luxury with effortless performance. And that is exactly where this comes in. So as a non-Alpina model, BMW don't actually offer the 5 Series estate car anymore with a V8 up front. Now the cars themselves are actually assembled on the main BMW production plant floor, which is what I discovered when I went to Dingolfing, where the 5 Series, the 7 Series, the new 8 Series are all built and assembled together, but these go down the exact line with parts that Alpina have delivered to the plant in advance. So there are about, in total, 1,500 to 1,700 Alpina cars now being built per year, but this is one of their latest that we're going to be exploring today. And just to give you a few headline numbers from it, so the 4.4 litre biturbo V8 produces 608 horsepower, but 800 Newton meters, which you get all the way from 3,000 RPM. It's got the permanent X-Drive 4-wheel drive system and an 8-speed automatic gearbox. But what that means is the ability to pull up to speeds over 300 kilometers per hour in comfort with, well, I think it's about 1,700 litres of luggage capacity when you fold down the rear seats. So this is quite a unique proposition, and I think just about all car people out there love a fast estate. So if we walk around it to talk about some of the subtle changes, because it's not supposed to stand out, and I think even the paint colour itself gives you that impression from the very beginning. This is Alpina Grün. They have the famous Alpina Blue and Alpina Grün paintworks, but it's subtle, it's discreet, it's your daily driver alongside a garage, maybe with a supercar, or the car that can meet all purposes in style. And if we come down to the very front, you can see here the floating Alpina badge. I think that's really cool. In this lower front splitter they've added, but that's all to do with additional coolers that are inside, additional airflow for cooling the more powerful engine. Inside the BMW kidney grills, you have the active flaps that open up for additional cooling as well. It's running on the Alpina 20-inch classic wheels, the traditional Alpina style, but a new tyre actually developed, a new Pirelli P0 tyre developed for this car, and even with wider tyres at the rear than standard to basically eliminate understeer. Not a big friend of Alpina. Up front, new suspension as well, and at the rear has been changed to basically offer an additional level of comfort, which I'll be trying out very shortly too. And if you come round towards the rear, of course you have the hatch of the estate car, a new exhaust system, their race exhaust system fitted to this as well. But basically it's not a car that particularly stands out and shouts, hey, look at me, other than if you know what those mean, the Alpina B5 Biturbo lettering. Now the interior of this car is pretty nice as well. Against the green paintwork, it's got this lovely brown leather with the white stitching and contrast that you can see. A few subtle changes in the Alpina, for example the badge, and one I really like, if the dashboard comes on, there we go, the new display, the blue dials that you have, and those actually change when you pop it into sport mode that I'm going to be seeing very soon. But basically I think I should show you the engine before we go out, give that a double pull, and we'll just come round and lift this up so we can talk about what they've actually done to get all of this power. 608 horsepower, so more than the M5 Saloon, just to put that into perspective, and also about 30 Newton meters more from the engine that's shared as a base with the M550i model. So it's the 4.4 V8, you can see new intakes, the new intercoolers much larger than standard, new turbos as well, new cooling. It's all about using cooling to get that extra power. It wears the Alpina badge on the plate on the top as well, but what you've got to remember is it is still a BMW. Here on the bonnet, it still has that BMW badge, which is very important. It's a BMW Alpina. Let me just give this a close. I think that's shut on down. Also, as we're coming around, new brakes. Again, important if you consider the extra power that the car has, and comfort. You know, even in the rear, it's a 5 Series, all the luxuries and things that you get with the 5 Series itself in terms of technology, safety, creature comforts inside. So let me take a step in now, get this started up, just so we can bring it into life. Start button just here. There we go, you can hear the sound of the valves. But before I go anywhere, I want to show you the different drive modes. So we're on in comfort at the moment, which is where you get these blue displays. You have the toggles here to adjust your various adaptive elements. But what's unique about this, let me just close the door so we get the full dials in front of us. Helps if I pull it properly. There we go. If I press the comfort button right here, you will see we also have Comfort Plus. That's not something that you actually have on a normal Fiver in any form at all, and what that does, up to about 160 kilometers per hour or so, makes it even softer. If you go into sport mode, you have the different dynamic settings, and you can see also the change in the dials. Just to go back to comfort, back into sport, you get those blue dials with the green indicators, and you can also then go into sport individual. You've got 3 different sport modes that you can configure and change the dynamic feel and controls. So it would only be right to start in normal comfort, or maybe to pop it into adaptive, to get a feel for what this car is going to be like out on the roads. And yeah, although in Austria we don't have the de-restricted autobahns of Germany, so we can't go 300 kilometers per hour, but it's quite a cool proposition, and I want to get a feel for it. So let's head on straight away now and see what this car is like. It is quite a busy day today. We're chopping and changing between lots of different Alpina models, but let's head straight on out, automatic gearbox, go for a drive on some of the local roads. And I can tell you, the new 5 Series, before we even go anywhere, is a brilliant car for daily driving, and that's basically the Alpina ethos, to take that and to make it even better, to make it this discrete performance. 800 Newton meters is a whole lot, believe me. And I've driven a 5 Series a lot, as many of you will know. I had an M5 saloon of this generation, which I experienced for about 10,000 kilometers. So as we just head on out then from the paddock here at the Salzburgring, we'll head to some of the local roads. I've got a little route in my mind to experience. I'm in comfort mode at the moment. I'm just going to pop it into Comfort Plus. This is where it would be completely ideal. Actually, I even felt that softening up. But if you were on some cobblestones or some really kind of bumpy roads, that's where it would come completely into its own. Yeah, this is very, very gentle. I imagine though, if you're in Comfort Plus out on the racetrack, you might feel it being a little bit wallowy. But I'm going to basically head on out, try out these different modes, get a feel for what it's like, and maybe while we're just cruising, let me pop it into Sport. You can hear some changes as well. I think if I go into Sport Plus, the exhaust system is open as well, but that's a little bit quieter with the valves just subtly changing in the background. Of course, the car has lots of insulation and everything you would expect in a nice premium model. So if we head out this way, I've got to find the exit just here. It just makes you want to drive gently and quietly and calmly. It's like the ethos of a Rolls-Royce in a way. You have the effortless power that even in the new B7, by the way, their version of the 7 Series, you get all of the torque from 2000 RPM. So you can cruise and waft along just easily, gradually, not feeling too stressed or bothered. A long distance Grand Tourer in the true sense of the word. And of course, with the practicality of having the luggage capacity and the extra row of seats and the boot and everything as well that comes with an estate. And like I said, there is just this cool factor of a car like this. And yes, in Sport Plus, by the way, I can feel it's firmer, but it's not unpleasantly firmer. Even like this, it's not a particularly hard ride at all. If I pop it back on these bumpy roads into Comfort Plus, yeah, I can feel the car immediately just floating around more, but riding over the bumps. So they've clearly given it quite a dynamic range in terms of the comfort elements of the car as well. We just have this slow, gentle cruise to get back towards the main road where we can head on out and drive a little bit more. They also do some other things, so you can take off the shift paddles and just replace them with buttons on the back if you want to change the ethos even more and just make it smaller and less of a sporty car, but still a very capable car, which takes a moment to think about and to get the idea for as we just cruise here through underneath this viaduct. But this is a car that, I mean, I can't really stress how quick it actually is, and 608 and 800 Newton meters, this is proper supercar territory. Yes, it's a heavy car, it's just over 2,000 kilos, make no mistake about that, but that's not really the point, is it? It's filled with lots of lovely leathers, and you can actually do an upgrade to the interior as well, and make it even more luxurious than it starts out like this. So we've got X-Drive, this rain and wet roads not being a problem at all. We will head this way, put my foot down a little bit. Yeah, it just breezes along, absolutely breezes along. So this isn't going to win, I don't think, already any awards for dramatic, exciting drive, but that's where, you know, M cars come in. That's what those are for. It's a model in the lineup that you can't get otherwise. You can't have a Touring with a V8 if you don't have an Alpina model, and it's also a touch more exclusivity, because if you think about BMW as a brand, they're selling millions of cars per year, lots and lots of 1 Series, 2 Series, front wheel drive cars now. They're no longer the exclusive models that they were. Whereas Alpina come in, full factory support vehicles, built and assembled in the plants, whether it's Dingolfing or Spartanburg or wherever it might be, and offer you this something extra. You can get the brochures in the dealerships, you order them through the dealerships, you don't necessarily have to order them from elsewhere, and then they're built on the same line. And I actually think that's a really cool factor and an element that comes with the car. I've been cruising along in Comfort Plus mode, and it's actually pretty relaxing. I'd kind of forgotten which mode I was in, but just enjoying the drive. I was thinking to head to the Austrian Autobahns, but I don't have a vignette sticker on the windscreen, which means I can't do that, and I don't have enough time to go to a petrol station to buy one and then do it, and then get back for the car to go to the next person. So alas, I cannot take it out on the Autobahns for a slightly higher speed, although obviously 130 or 120 kilometers per hour depending on the limits. So I'm going to pop it back into Sport Plus. No, let's go to Sport Standard just to enjoy a little bit more. You have independent control over the gearbox. So for the gearbox to be in Sport, that goes to the left, it drops some gears and we hear a little bit of noise. If you're in Sport mode and you manually downshift, it then stays manual. If you're in normal drive mode and you manually downshift, then it will revert after some time back to the automatic mode. The car does have, obviously, the tech level. It has the camera sensors that are detecting speed limit signs up ahead of me. Well, I always find those a little bit peculiar because, well, sometimes they get it right, sometimes they absolutely don't. But cruising along, it's very reasonably quiet, as you'd want. Obviously, it's a very long car. It's, I think, just shy of 5 meters long, so the exhaust tips are way back behind me, which is why you don't exactly hear very much out of them. Just as we get to the edge of the little town here, I am going to, in a second, pop my foot down just to enjoy a little bit of this, down to second gear. Yeah, okay, that gets a move on. That's pretty decent. Alright then, I'm back into drive. Nice, gentle, chilled out mode. You definitely feel the torque instantly, even there from a pretty low end in the rev range. Just would be nice if we could go a little bit quicker. Maybe that's one to do on the German Autobahns at some point in the future, but I can entirely believe that it does exactly what Alpina say it does. It can reach those kind of speeds, which you have to remember, 322 kilometers per hour in the Touring. It can go 330 kilometers per hour in the saloon version, so without the extra luggage space at the rear boot, and it will do 0 to 100 in 3.7 in this, 0 to 100 in 3.5 in the saloon. Those figures are just absurd, absolutely ridiculous. Now we're coming into national speed limit, so drop some gears again, have a bit of fun, you get some burbles, a bit more of the sound there. We come around, it drives pretty decently as well. We're in Sport then, not Sport Plus. Clinging on through the corner, drop some gears. I don't think it would ever give the sensation on camera that you were driving quickly. I feel like it's one of those where it will always look like you were driving quite gently, purely because it's not crazy dramatic, it just wafts along. So it doesn't give that sensation and vibe of like the car moving everywhere, the weight transferring all over the place, and lack of control, which is what generally makes things look quite quickly, quite quick. Just driving here. Well, we're coming back towards the road down to the Salzburgring, so let's head back in. Take this car back. I'm back in the paddock, and I'm sorry I haven't really been able to do the full drive that I would have liked to have done, but of course time has been very tight. So to show you a few things around the interior, the steering wheel, Alpina badge in the centre, they've done this double stitch as well. Green in the lower sections, blue up at the top, which I think is really quite nice too. The dashboard we had a look through earlier. Inside, in terms of infotainment, it's the BMW operating system, the previous now generation. So you have these tiles, but they've introduced the new system on the 8 Series and now the facelifted 7, which updates this a little bit more. A few other Alpina touches that you spot inside, for example the logo there on the dashboard. You've got the plaque here, BMW Alpina B5 Biturbo Touring number 392 already that they've made of the car. And then here are our controls to go through the different modes. I didn't yet show you Eco Pro, but if you press Eco Pro, the dashboard goes like that, and stop starters obviously come in. It gives you a timer there, I guess, letting us know what we've been able to save in terms of fuel economy. So I'm just going to press the button, turn the car off for the moment, and let me step out to show you a little bit more around the rear of the car and to the boot as well while we're here. So to come around, avoiding puddles. It's been rather wet this morning. At the back, just to open this up, power fold tailgate and press. And of course, 5 Series estate, loads of room back here. The folding backrest, 3 different parts, 40, 20, 40, extra storage going on as well. This is the fun thing, isn't it? It's a car with this much space that can do 322 kilometers per hour, or 330 in the saloon. And then on the back, outside of the badging, it's subtle, it's discreet. They haven't gone wild with the design and stuck a huge aggressive diffuser on it. You've just got the quad tailpipes with the new exhaust system for freer flowing air, but otherwise painted in the subtle green. The paintwork that's such a nice colour as well, contrasting with the bright silver of the wheels, the blue calipers that you have as well for the brakes, and the front design that is again just generally pretty subtle with that floating Alpina logo down at the base, which you can also have in a glossy brighter silver as well, but I quite like the subtlety of that. And parked alongside another car in the same colour, the D5S, the D being the diesel versions, the B being the petrol versions, so this the saloon of the diesel 5 Series. But hey, I can't complain about today's drive. The car very much does, I think, what it says on the tin. It's an exclusive luxury version of the 5 Series Touring. It fills that niche, that top end that can be ordered through BMW, comes with all of that support. It's built on the same line, and then if I was able to take it out onto a faster stretch, we'd be able to experience the power and performance that it offers as well. So I think for now, the car needs to be taken on to the next drive. I've got other things to get up to as well, so thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Alpina for the opportunity to join and get to experience the B5 Biturbo Touring today. The fastest estate car station wagon in the world. That's it for now though. Thanks again guys, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers.